Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Derek Okahashi and Core Team Hawaii. I'm moving to Hawaii. Today we did the North Shore of Oahu. We already did one North Shore video. This one shows where I would actually consider the North Shore to be. Haleiwa to here in KAHUKU. We started right here in Haleiwa and we're going to head towards Waimea Bay, towards Pipeline. You know, we're gonna head east on Kamehameha Highway. In our last North Shore video, we were really in like Haleiwa, Waialua. That's the northwest pocket of the North Shore. I mean, when you say North Shore, are you thinking of Waialua?
Yeah.
Are you?
I think everything like here to Mokuleia.
But like first thing comes to mind, are you thinking Waialua or are you thinking like this stretch?
Like Pipeline.
Like Waimea, right? Pupukea, right?
Bay.
So this might be the North Shore. That's what we do on this channel, you know, we get really nuanced to give a local's perspective. When I think of the North Shore, I'm really thinking of surf spots. Actually, that starts at Haleiwa and goes this way. So the last video that we called the North Shore, I would more so say this is the North Shore. This area here is Waialua. What is this? Rihing Mui Pineapple. The tourist shaka, yeah? Yeah, the tourist shaka. I'm gonna pull over here by Lani. It can be recommended to have 4x4 when you're trying to live in the country. So we're facing Lani's right now, Laniakea. I think the story behind that is this farm behind us is Laniakea, Lanimu farm. You heard of that, right?
Oh, it's Lanimu?
Yeah, I think that's Lanimu Farms, like the local dairy farm, or I don't know which came first. If this is always Laniakea, this is like Ahupua, you know, or if I bet you the surf spot would have followed the farm. But anyways, this is the first like opening. So if you're coming from the H2 or the center or south part of the island, if you didn't stop at Haleiwa and take that turn into old Haleiwa town, and you just stayed on Kam Highway and kept coming into the North Shore, this would be the first big opening. You have those Papailoa houses over there, you'd have Lani's. And so when you're doing the surf check, first spot you see is Lani's. I have a scar, I think it's this knee, from getting cut at Lani's, like bodyboarding, pulling into a barrel, getting all amped, I'm gonna make this barrel, and then boom, my knee bounced off the reef. It's a fast wave and it can be shallow. One thing, when you think of the North Shore, you may not think of traffic. It's the country, keep the country. It's not, you know, Honolulu where all the industry is and stuff, but this is a big tourist attraction. It's the peak of that, you know, driving around the island. It's at the top and there's just one road. When cars are coming, you know, they're coming all the way from their Waikiki hotel and then this is the first big opening with this grand view. There's a lot of rubberneck checking, you know, right here. If it's a really big day and the Pipe Masters or the Eddie Aikau surf contest is going and it's a weekend or, you know, stuff like that, I wouldn't even come here. I would either camp here, come really early, like 4 or 5 in the morning, or I just wouldn't go. I'll just watch it on TV. You know, nowadays, like someone's Instagram live or something. But so right after Lani's, in between those houses, you open up to Chun's. Chun's is a little more protected by the trees, so a little harder to see stuff. Tourists are stopping, causing traffic. This is a nice, clean beach. Lani's, not as much beach. And then again, you have all of this, you know, oceanfront to slightly oceanfront property right here. There was a sign back there, Island Fresh Eggs for sale. The North Shore is kind of rootsy. So whereas, look at this is a very luxury piece of real estate there. Ocean front. That probably looked like it was 4,000 square foot with a second home right on Kam Highway. So that's a little bit of a nuisance, but it can also be hard to avoid being right on Kamehameha Highway here. Waimea Bay is coming up. So that'll be the next major milestone that we hit on the North Shore. In between, there's some spots like leftovers. Don't go straight when you're surfing leftovers. You'll end up on dry reef. And then there's all of this real estate, you know, all of these homes right on Kamehameha Highway. Let's dive off to the right here. What is this? Ukuvai place. Ukuai.
Iku.
Was it Iku?
Yeah.
Oh, the tree was right there. Okay. I guess that's not the Hawaiian word if I'm failing. So we're going to go a little bit Mauka. So when people think of the North Shore, most of your experience is up and down Kamehameha Highway. But there's all of these little offshoots too. Here, I'm going to make sure the van gets this. This is so North Shore. Like, try go slow. So like, hey, slow down, your kids live here, etc. They have the sign that says, try go slow. The North Shore is it's a unique It's a unique blend. It has like a really strong family vibe in a way, you know what I mean? But then it's also really industry driven, and so you also have a lot of transplants, you know, people that aren't from here. You know, you move to Hawaii, you've seen the movie North Shore or whatever. How's that go? There's a strong local rooting as well, right? Like generations of Hawaiians and North Shore families. You know, in Hawaii, you'll hear like, oh, the blank family. Oh yeah, they're all from the west side. Yeah. Oh, the whatevers, you know. There's definitely that here up in the country on the North Shore. If your grandpa's grandpa owned this whole 50 acres right here, and then slowly it got sold off and it had to go away, then you feel some level of ownership and pride in this land now. When I think of like country living, you know, without going really like super luxury, I think of this, like this earthy, drab forest green, board and batten style with the off-white trim and garage. Nice big balcony, nice yard. You can see the yard goes back pretty far. This is like epitome country. I would love that house actually. There's no Costco, there's no Home Depot. There is a city mill in Haleiwa. In Waialua, there's a Napa Auto Parts. There's not a lot to do out here, and they take pride in that. It's like, it's country, you know. A lot of people riding bikes up and down everywhere, not only because, you know, why not, the weather, the culture, the vibe, but also when that traffic gets horrible on this road on Kamehameha Highway, having a bike really helps out, you know. Look at that house though. They created their own little Indonesian jungle setting, and it probably has some of the most amazing views on the island. I'm sure that the views from that home rival anything in Portlock, Kahala, Black Point, because Waimea Bay is one of the most picturesque. Waimea Bay is like, what is that area in Greece where all the boats?
Oh.
Is it Italy or Greece? Where all the boats and like white buildings?
The white
on
buildings,
the cliff?
that's
Yeah.
Greece. That's Greece.
That's Greece, right? But Waimea Bay would almost be that, right? Like without all, but the country version, because it's this bay, it's beautiful. I almost died at Waimea Bay.
You almost die everywhere.
I almost, yeah, I get in over my head quite a bit. Guys, so I am entering the jungle. Let's experience this lookout together. This shows you the beauty that you're paying for in the North Shore. I would say the North Shore has a feeling similar to Kauai. There's this really strong culture and strong desire to keep it the way it is. Keep the country country. We saw that in our other North Shore video. That's an ongoing mantra here. You know what? I support it. Yeah, I'm the real estate guy and whatnot, but I don't want this whole island to be Waikiki. I want the North Shore to be North Shore. I want the country to be country. I want to have chickens crowing, and you know, I want to be able to see pro surfers in the food land without being harassed, and I want the beauty of this ocean and the resources of it all just maintained. And let's experience this lookout together. Oh. Every time I think that I'm going to peek out into the view, there's another little jungle section. This shows you the feel for the land here, you know. It's like there's just a different energy. Like, it's hard to explain. Even if like in town in Manoa, Waikiki wasn't Waikiki, it just has a different feeling than the North Shore. Maybe because the waves here in the winter are so powerful, and I don't know, there's just a different, we call it in Hawaii, you call it mana. There's a different like mana, different energy here. I bet you when Waimea is full, you can park and walk along this, yeah? Cause see this trail right here?
Oh yeah.
And then go jump off the rock. Maybe I'll jump off the rock today. Have you ever jumped off the rock?
I did.
That's a school of fish.
Yeah, so you see that swimmer that's like splashing more?
Yeah, that's a school of fish?
They get that big, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's it.
My dream house has changed a few times in life. I don't know, that might be the new Okahashi estate dream. We could get it one day. Wow, look at this though, look at this. This spot is beautiful. I couldn't bring my kids. They might get hurt. From here, from like the home of that deck, you can see Kaena Point. And then you can also see You can also see Waimea Bay. I would venture to say that that house with that deck could have the nicest view on the island. They're probably in flood zone D or X, one of the more advantageous flood zones. I think this speaks to why you would want to live on the North Shore. So for me, we've been productive. You know, my team's growing and we have a lot of people getting into escrow, a lot of buyers accepted. We've been grinding, you know, we've been going and I love it. Like I feed off of it. But every so often you need this. You know what I mean? If you live over here on the North Shore, you either get it, you know, from your balcony if you're living in luxury real estate like that. So I brought my surf shorts today. I'm definitely getting in the water. Wind's blowing, salt air, changes in the color. On my Instagram, we were in Mendocino, went for a jog, and there were all of these little picturesque spots like this. And my friend on Instagram, he put oh, what, you stay on the Big Island? Like he thought I was somewhere in Hawaii. So if you've been to places like that in the Pacific Northwest or in California, like Mendocino, Monterey, Carmel, this North Shore stretch is really one of the best places to get that kind of vibe. And you can see why right here. A lot of people have jet skis. That could be for just, joyriding, but it's probably for like big wave surfing as well. So I turned here into the parking lot for Waimea Bay. When we were kids, you could come here on a weekday and actually get parking. But I guess those days are gone. I would have liked to have gotten out and jumped off the rock with the GoPro or maybe with the drone or something. In this Waimea shore break, I went to body surf and looking at the ocean, everyone was out to the right and I was like, oh, it looks really good to the left. And no one was there. And I kind of, overzealously just jumped in and didn't even stretch, didn't even wait to watch it. And next thing you know, I'm like praying. It was big. And Waimea Bay is so strong, like stronger than Sandy's. So Waimea, Sandy's, had a close call, and Yokes. Those are my main almost died places. One thing, so see the falling rocks and see this really reinforced fence thing here? When we were in high school, I don't know if you remember, there was a rock slide here. And so people that live just on the other side, like people that live right here, couldn't go to town. So they had to go all the way to the east side. And so what people were doing, one of our teachers, he was a surfer guy from the mainland, but he lived like right around here, like right past Waimea. So what they were doing, they would keep kayaks at the beach and they would kayak across and leave their car over there. Because if you have to go that way to get to Eva, it's like 2 hours.
Maui people probably used to that kind of drive. But...
yeah, it's like the Maui Kula drive, right? Point is if there's any event on this road, North Shore traffic is an issue. So we're gonna turn right by the food land. The food land is the landmark on the North Shore. This is the only place you're gonna get groceries, unless you go into Haleiwa and there's a couple like natural grocers and stuff. When I was young, like when we were in high school and I would think of the North Shore, back then it wasn't even so much like a tourist destination as it is today, right?
To me, it was just like the good beaches area.
It's good beach, yeah, the good beach area. There wasn't as many food stands and stuff too, right? Because with the increased tourism comes those opportunities for people to make money. Right? Pre-internet, pre-social media, pre-Google Maps, etc. It was a little more, undiscovered, unregulated up here on the North Shore. I have another story. So this guy used to be my neighbor. At one point, he got a lifted truck. And we went up to Kaina Point, Mokuleia, when we were going off-road. And then we went, gallivanting, joyriding. And there were these girls on the side of the road and hitchhiking. Come to find out, they were from like Berkeley and Portland or something like that, right? I actually remember they didn't smell too good. But we picked them up and we went into Haleiwa and we chatted and we're like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we just came to Hawaii and we just hitchhike and work when we can. They're like true like hippie status, And we're like, well, where do you live? And they're like, up in Pupukea, so up here. Like, yeah, so you guys all rented a house or whatever? And they were like, really vaguely like, no, we just live up in Pupukea. I was like, okay. We're like, oh, do you need a ride back? And they're like, yeah, if you don't mind. So they were like, oh, right here. But there was no fence. Like, it was really like a lot of brush. And I was like, what do you mean right here? And they're like, right here. And I was like, where's the house? And they're like, no, we're just kind of just doing our thing, just living, man. Peace, man. It was interesting. It stuck with me. I was like, oh, the North Shore is different. Keep in mind, I lived in the Oakland Bay Area for like almost 12 years, like 11 years or something. And so now I get it. You know, like I lived in, I used to go to Berkeley Bowl to shop every day. But now I get it. But at the time, growing up in Hawaii, you know, just a Hawaii kid and not from the North Shore, I realized like, oh, the North Shore is different. These girls, they lived in the brush in like there was some plywood and some tents. And they intentionally chose to do it. Like, as I remember, I don't think they were like impoverished. It was by choice. Yeah, they just wanted that. And you don't go to Waikiki to do that. If you do, you're finding some different trouble, you know what I mean? You don't go to Eva Beach to do that. Kailua, they're gonna run you out. Up here in Pupukea, they were doing it, you know? I don't know if anyone still does that today. Again, granted, this is probably 2005. So they're not homeless, they're houseless. And I just remember like, it all made sense and it stuck with me. I'll never forget it. But that's not all of Pupukea, right? Pupukea is also some of the most amazing real estate on the island. Pupukea is pretty badass. Oh. Yeah. Anytime you see column, then maybe I don't wear my t-shirt to the video or the showing. We have some clients coming out soon actually, and they're looking, you know, in the $3 to $4 million range. And they're like specifically, we don't want one of those places with the columns and the Greek statues and the dragons in the front and everything's marble, and they specifically want to avoid that. So to each their own, you know. If you've never seen the movie North Shore, don't take it so serious, like they want to beat everybody up and whatever, but it's like an 80s cult following type of thing. Hey, you know, when you go up Pupukea, where's the heiau?
You up there now?
Yeah, we stay up here now and my internet wouldn't work, so I was like, maybe my dad can remember.
Wait, what you guys doing over there? What you guys was doing there?
Making videos.
Oh, I thought you went to the Crack Seed Center.
I did get crack seed the time we did the Manoa video. We'll send it by Friday.
Wait, next Friday or this Friday?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, watch out, the Obake over there.
Obake.
The kahunas up there. Watch out. Don't touch the rocks or nothing, man. Don't take nothing.
You can touch them, you're just not supposed to take them, right?
Put it back right where he's at.
Okay.
Okay, man.
Okay,
Bye.
love you too. Bye. In front of us is Sharks Cove area, one of the more common snorkel places that you'll see on the island. Gotta throw the shaka. You got the Mustang convertible on the right, you know that's tourist. The moped in the front could be tourist, or it could be someone who's here for 6 weeks to unknown. Maybe 6 weeks, maybe 6 decades, who knows? We'll see how it goes, you know. The older Nissan with the dog hanging out the window and the surfboards on top. Total North Shore mix. And she's drinking a Truly on the back. When I pass Waimea, past Foodland, you'll notice to the left of me, it's not just immediate ocean anymore. You'll see, you know, like I said, famous surfers, kids, people riding their bike all the way from Sunset down to Foodland along this path. This is a spot in the summer I'll bring my kids. I'll bring my kids and go swimming right around here. You can park in the shade, walk down, beautiful blue oceans and not that many people around. The next like major famous surf spot that we're going to encounter is Pipeline. You want to make sure you lock your car when you're on the North Shore. I've been overdue for a cleanse like this. When I realized we're going to the North Shore today, I was like, perfect. So I'm walking down the beach right now. All of this is Ehukai right here in front of me. That would be Pipe and back door over there, but there's really no waves right now, so it's nothing. Then off the wall would be down there. This place is like a theater for surf contests, so a lot of the homes that, you know, are right here, right after you get off the Pipe, they're owned by, you know, Volcom and Quicksilver and whatever, and so these big companies own these houses. They're really important because this is like a theater for surfing. There's a few really good waves in the world, or really famous waves that people talk about, like Jaws on Maui, but it's way out there. You don't really spectate Jaws unless it's on video. Chopu in Tahiti, again, it's a really deep ocean wave that folds on the shelf, like out. You gotta be on a boat or jet ski way out. Talk to the guys that surf Pipe and they'll probably tell you this is like an amphitheater. When the big contests are going, this whole beach is just packed. People come here early to put their chairs down, and you can just look right here at guys and, you know, even girls getting like shot out of the barrel, and the Volcom house and all these corporate houses where if they have like a front row seat, you know, to the theater, or back, should say back row seat, right? Like the seats you want to get in the back of the theater when you go to the movies. There's the Volcom house. This is actually pretty strong, so it's not a place that you want to let your kids just gallivant in this shore, but stronger than it looks. This is the North Shore, guys. As the van looks here, that is Sunset Beach Elementary. You might think like, well, big deal. It's kind of cool. It's right across from Pipe, like the most famous surf spot in the world. If the Pipe Masters is in the middle of the day and people are yelling, these like 5th graders over here who surf, they're like, bruh, you know, like, well, first of all, if they're super into the surf scene, they're probably not at school. They're probably over here. I feel like parents on average would accommodate that a little more up here on the North Shore. On the North Shore, there's like this pride, like this like esoteric nature, close-knit community where everyone knows everyone, which can be good and bad, right? Like I won't get into the other side of that.
Kind of like an island on an island.
An island on an island, yeah. The North Shore is the center of the surf community, like the Olympic Training Center in Colorado. Like that's the North Shore for surfing, you know. This is everything. Los Angeles for actors, this is that for surfers. You know, if you want to be something in the surf industry, likely, historically, it's gonna happen. You're gonna prove yourself on this stretch. On days where, you know, there's already been a good swell, all the best guys are kind of, you know, satisfied. A lot of the like best people sit up on those balconies, like at the Volcom house or whatever, and watch the up-and-comers like prove themselves, like pull into barrels and get destroyed. Oh, how's that house? Oh, that would be amazing. Guarantee there's a lot of people who have tried to buy these houses. So this is Sunset Beach here. This is a heavy wave. Again, a wave that I would be afraid of. You wouldn't be able to tell from today, but this wave gets big and heavy. Maybe on the inside break is called Val's Reef. I might be able to handle that one. Shortly past here, there's homes in an area called Sunset Point. You have a little bit more land before the beach. Average price point on the North Shore is definitely higher than most of the island. You're not paying for proximity to town, but you're paying to like live out a vacation, you know? We just want to show you Ted's Bakery. What is that? Just more seating?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't there when we were Keiki, yeah? When we were kids, like back in the day, did Ted's have like all of the food that it has now? Like it's like a full-on L&L type thing now.
Yeah, like big lunch, breakfast.
The North Shore locals will correct me. No, brah, can tell you not from Sunset Side. Always had a hamburger steak. They known for the hamburger steak. But yeah, Ted's Bakery is a landmark. But if you go to like a potluck or a luau, at least before, now they sell Ted's in the stores, like in Foodlands and stuff. But before it would be like, oh, you brought Ted's, wow. When I was a young man, like 21 years old, I used to work at a ceiling fan place. And there was this person, her and her husband bought this luxury real estate up here somewhere. And they used it as a partial vacation rental to make money. And I remember going inside and it was one of those at the time, like I was in awe of how nice the house was. And it was up here on the cliff overlooking Sunset. But I don't think it was here. I just saw a sign that was very North Shore. It said like North Shore Justice Community or Justice Patrol or something. I respect that. I think that up here on the North Shore, they do kind of self-police. It's not a place where you want to make, you know, enemies or certain enemies. On the North Shore, there's a disparity, you know. There's those older plantation homes that we just saw. There's the luxury real estate by Waimea Bay or up on the top of Pupukea. And then there's everything in between, you know. Easement for Kapuai Place residents and guests only. Please use O'Puola Street. I don't know how true that is, but I respect it. So actually, you know the house we went by in the Diamond Head video, and I said, oh, we sold this house for a Coast Guard chief?
Yeah.
They moved right around here somewhere. We're at a point where you're technically still North Shore, but it's becoming a different thing. But if we go by school districts, Of course, don't quote me and don't base your purchases off of, my school zoning. You're still in the KAHUKU school district at this point, as far as I know. Turtle Bay is a place that might rival Ko'olina for certain people. If you're looking for like luxury, or I should say resort living, the advantage Ko'olina has is you can, depending on where on the resort you are and what traffic's doing, you can be at Target in less than 10 minutes. But from Turtle Bay to anything significant in terms of shopping, half hour to an hour. Windward Mall would be the closest thing here, I think. Because otherwise you're going to Mililani. Where's the best shrimp? Because some people say Fumi's, there's Romi's, and then there's, of course, Giovanni. And so KAHUKU, this side of the island, is famous for the shrimp, corn, dirt biking. So yeah, if you're into dirt biking and riding quads and four-wheelers and all that kind of stuff, there's several places, or there's a handful of places on the island, but the main place is right here in KAHUKU. We had to leave Giovanni's. It's cash only.
Cash only.
Cash only. Romies. Let's see.
Cash only. 3 strikes.
That's tres. Tres striko. I think people in the circles of the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, all the way to families that are deep-seated and deep-rooted here and, are trying to hold fast and keep their land and keep their family in this region. And you'll see initiatives, all the way from Keep the Country is more well known, but you'll see other coalitions and movements of, stop building, stop development, stop overrunning, resources, and, Hawaiian sovereignty movement. There's a code here that isn't written. There's an unwritten code. So of course there's the law, HRS statute 1702, can't break into people's houses, whatever. But there's also an unwritten code here on the North Shore, and that is in Hawaii in general, but it's amplified, it's magnified here, and that's show respect the community, and respect the individuals, respect the land, respect the ocean. There is a strong culture of an unwritten code and sort of self-policing here on the North Shore, and that's something to be aware of. Does that mean that you can't just come here with your Lamborghini and buy a beautiful home and assimilate? I mean, no, you can do that if you want, or try to, I would hope that you want to, come to the North Shore because you want to be a part of this community and this culture. I think you're gonna have your highest success rate. Don't bring Manhattan here to the North Shore. Now, should you invest and build wealth? Don't get me wrong, I'm all about that. You're not coming to the North Shore to bring your South Boston culture. There's a place for that, and it's not here. But if you're coming, just learn aloha, live aloha.